This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Verse 11. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed, and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. I want to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to call Loyam, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachakadosh Bakatam. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the occupant across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so. Shalom to the Akwatani Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is an edifying video. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, which appear like the other nations, but subscribe to this truth to you. I say Shalom, it's the brother Yahweh Sab out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And basically, it's an article I've been had for probably like a couple weeks now. Maybe, yeah, I've been out for like maybe 3 weeks. So I think I found it like 2 weeks ago, but other articles was coming up and I kind of forgot about it. But if you're familiar with natural news, it's a guy named Mike Adams. He had a channel on YouTube called the Health, or his channel. He was known as the Health Ranger. I believe he's appeared on Alex Jones, like our head. He put a video that was on BitChute, Alex Jones and him, literally speaking about some of the upcoming things that we about to experience, and then being that Biden actually, well, Biden's with through the FDA had passed or approved the one, what's that, the BioNTech Pfizer jab and stab, which is the first of many. Um, Basically, they're making you aware that by them approving that, basically it's going to make it, it's going to bring more mandates. Now they can push legislation to make it like um, force this upon you, basically. You know what I mean? I was watching the video because a lot of brothers jumped on it, and like I said, I wasn't going to. When brothers tend to speak on certain topics, unless the spirit move me, I let brothers, man. But it's all lined up, so I took it like this the spirit, because all this is, it tells you in the book of Psalms 119, 126, about how the Most High, because they made void His law, the Lord, roughly paraphrased, is about to work. You know what I mean? And you can see the brother. Beloved brother Saint Benji, he made a statement. He said, the Lord ain't gonna just give you a little bit. Like, He got all these different things working. So when the calamity come, you gonna, like, when you read the Old Testament, and how when hell is brought upon you, you gonna actually experience it. You know what I mean? Because it ain't gonna be just one thing. It's gonna be a multitude of things. You're gonna have hungry people. You're gonna have people that's broke. You know what I mean? The economy fuck around and crash when the famine hit. You know what I mean? Like, like multitude of things. So that this is, this is, you know, just and I mean this is it's supernatural. We put it like that. But so because like I said, with these mandates that they're I mean, it's not coincidence. I think it was in Jersey or New York. One of them, they were already having legislations or speaking on legislation about, well, if you what to do with the people that chose not to be jabbed up. You know what I mean? And internment camps was one of them. You know what I mean? And it's funny too, because like I said, I had a video up for months, and when I got released, like the next day, I went to go do a video. I did the video, and then I got an alert. So I'm thinking like they just flagged and took down the video that I just did, but what it was, they flagged me for a video that I had months ago, and it was about internment camps. So it's funny, what I'm saying? Like, I had that book video up all that time, and then now you got people speaking on internment camps. But because that can be mandated. They want to basically section off those that choose not to participate. As far as taking that concoction. It says CDC announces COVID internment camps for every U.S. city will separate families by force claims to meet minimum humanitarian standards. And I didn't read this, but for all those that's watching this video, go check this out. Because he got I forgot what it's called, but he got a whole another website and whatnot, and it's going into detail. Like CDC actually has like this actually on their website. You know, basically they're basically trying to justify why they're going to do this. And that's why I came out with the Sirach 12 and 10. That's a go-to scripture because at the end, you shouldn't. I mean, like I said, once a thief, always a thief. You know what I mean? Do they necessarily have to steal at that moment? No. You know what I mean? But, if it's in you, it always could be brought out of you too. You know what I mean? That's just like brothers like that's in the truth. We new creation, so we that new man. We put off that old man, but that's why we got to constantly examine ourselves to not fall back into those old ways. Um, so I'm gonna read some of this article. I forget how long it is, and I thought it's very short. So that's the beautiful thing. This is the website. So like I said, go check this out. And I'm using the phone, so I can't like add a link like post production. So you could just click on it. Salakia for that. But like I said, thinking about all this made me think of a few precepts. So Lord willingly, this is edifying. It says CDC announces CV internment camps for every U.S. city will separate families by force, claims to meet minimum humanitarian standards. It says Natural News last Friday, the governor of Tennessee signed executive order authorizing the National Guard to medically kidnap unvaccinated people at gunpoint and forcibly take them to CV involuntary internment camps across the state. Across the state. And the thing is, like, I've been hearing or seeing little certain videos, in certain countries, and um, I believe like my demon like up and took my children and went to California a couple years ago, and she was saying like because the homelessness is way worse out there. I've actually been to Florida. I got the opportunity to visit the LA camp, and but it was so crazy because like what you see on TV, it's not crazy because they'll show you how fake this place is. You know what I mean? How it's all built on an illusion. But I mean, I was in a downtown LA, and if you know anything about spirituality and spirits and whatnot, like you know, spirits can actually manifest smells and whatnot. They downtown smells really bad. You know what I mean? Like it smell like shit. So you would have never thought like this is Los Angeles. Oh, right. You know what I mean? But no, that shit was like. I mean, and I've said, I'm from the ghetto, like everybody. You know, I'm gonna say this. I ain't gonna say everybody in the truth is, but I'm a little ghetto boy. So I mean, a lot of things aren't gonna shock me that I might see. But I mean, we downtown and the dude just getting high right there, and I'm like, damn, what I mean? Like, I ain't talking about like he's smoking a joint or nothing. He's smoking a stem. He hit that fire in that bitch. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. But I mean, I've seen it in my little hood, but this is, it was kind of funny. But actually, like, damn, and that's when I recognized, like, oh yeah, this shit is over with. What I mean? Like, I mean, it just it was maybe you had to been there. It's one of the moments you would have had to see for yourself. You get what I'm saying? You know. But anyhow, it says now new details have emerged about a similar plan initially launched by the CDC in 2020, which calls for nationwide CV concentration camps to be operated at the camp sector level, which will be populated by individuals designated high risk who are forcibly ripped from their families and homes to be imprisoned by the CDC. And I'm gonna click that and then go back because, like, say, that's already like when in California, I think they was one of the first states to actually initiate where they're allowing those alphabet people or the sodomites to be around you amongst your children to come in and basically put it in their mind that it's okay to if you want to think you a girl when you actually a boy, it's okay and all that, and you couldn't opt out of it. In actuality, they set it up where like you looked at it as like the bad parent, or you might have to go through one of these agencies where what I mean, like where like how when they set it up where kids can call, like back in the day, your parent disciplined you, and that was what it was. You know what I mean? Now today, a child could not like something that you didn't did. You didn't take away that game. You ain't even have to physically put your hands on them, but they have a number that they could call, and then you got these people that'll come and jump into your life and actually can actually what's the word disrupt it. You know, all based on, and a child don't know nothing. You know what I mean? You know, experience and wisdom come from age. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's very few people that could actually, it's this old saying I say a smart man can get through a situation, could bump their head and get through a situation, but a wise man will watch that smart man bump their head so they don't bump their head at all. But very few people actually do that. You know what I mean? Most people, especially young people, they don't really, adhere to, you know, like what's the word? Adhere to advice. Some do for the most part, but like at the end of the day, especially when you coming into your manhood or your womanhood, you know, like they dangle that in front of most of these people's face. Let's show you another trick of Esau, because it's funny. Esau will label an 18-year-old old enough to go and take a life, meaning he could fight in this man's armies and he could sell his soul to this government to take a life or be a soldier, but he still ain't old enough to actually have a drink, not in their system anyway. But that's it made me think of something, because I've worked all kind of different jobs. I've had construction jobs, all kind of shit. I remember the one Edomite, he actually was buying alcohol for his kid. And his mindset was literally, well, they gonna do it anyway, so I want to be around to observe them doing it. I'm like, what? Like, this how these fucking think. But that's neither here nor there. This is the document, and as you can see, it goes straight to cdcgovernment.gov. So this is the actual website. Operational consideration for humanitarian settings. I'm not about to read this. What I suggest you do is go read it. Well, I'll read this portion of it. It says the shielding approach aims to reduce the number of severe CV-19 cases by limiting contact between individuals at higher risk of developing severe disease, high risk, and the general population, low risk. You know what? I'll probably do a part two to this, because we do have to delve into this. And that's what they call hidden in plain sight. People don't really research. You know, I was listening to Brothers for a bit of Valor. They was saying, he said, this is like I forgot how he worded it exactly. He's like, any time in history where a man would be a watchman and be calling out or giving the people warning, they would take heed to it. Only in America, with all this witchcraft and how dumbed down these people is, that they just like fan the fan the hand, or they shrug the shoulder. You know what I mean? Like, at one point, like, you ever remember, as rebellious and stubborn as Israel is, the job as a watchman is to blow the trumpet, to alert. You know what I mean? And people will take heed to that. But now it's like, we've been constantly telling people. Like, I've been in the truth for, I mean, knowing about the truth and actually being in the camp. I've been in the camp for, I want to say, at least going on 5 years. Okay, so literally, like, I've known about the truth for longer than that, but I've been in the camp, actually in the camp amongst the brothers doing the work for about 5 years. And like, brothers have been bringing this information out for all these years, and you still got people, and it's literally coming in your face. You know what I mean? Like, and you still got people scoffing or really can't see it, and that's the that should give you the fear of the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Because if you could, the Lord could put a spirit on you that got you blinded to some shit that's right in your face. You know how terrifying that is. I mean, it's other things that make me think about the terror of the Lord. You know how He could put that homosexual spirit on a person. You know what I mean? Like that. I mean, like the Lord. Yeah. Well, they call him Alashadja, the King of Terrors, for a reason, right? It says back into, so if I bring this out, I'm gonna bring it out later. So I probably will make this a part too. It says this document entitled Interim Operational Consideration for Implementing the Shielding Approach to Prevent CV-19 infections in humanitarian settings explains that the CDC will meet minimum humanitarian standards by providing, for example, soap and basic cleaning supplies so that CV camp prisoners can clean their own prison cells, which is bullshit because I just was recently incarcerated and I cussed the motherfucking sheriffs out because they trying to get me to wear the mask, and I'm like, no, I'm like, what the fuck is the point of wearing a mask while we down here booking me in when you about to throw me in the cell and ain't gonna give a fuck who got a mask on that I ain't even supposed to be around the celly. And then, like I say, they wasn't cleaning the cells. This deadly disease that all these people dying from that's gotta they wasn't cleaning. If any like man, this shit like it says among other horrors, this CDC document openly calls for separating couples and families. Why do you think people like I was in there that literally like they was in the spirit of rebelling? And woe to whoever the fuck them proud ass women that's working in there, they're thinking they doing good because they get to work, doing a job that's really easy and lifting up their self esteem. Because like the one guy Verge that I met in there by Sully, he said you like a county 8, so on the street you like a 4. You know what I mean? Like a man's rod, what I mean, with a man third, some men, testosterone so up there, the wind blow and they, like a horty toe. So like just like you said, when a man been taken away from women, and then like say, I mean, Salakia for the digression. But my point of bringing all that up is like them women gonna be ravished. I could see it. Like we was literally in there, and it was a guy in there arguing with the CO female as if like he was fucking her. And like I said, like majority of the cases in our county right now, I mean, it's murders and robberies and but like they slapping people on the wrist for selling drugs and shit. But majority of them is domestic violences. And he arguing with her and she arguing back with him like they fucking like they at home. I was like, wow. And now it's 50 of us on this pod and it's just her. I was like, damn, all it takes is for this dude, you know what I mean? And then she up there, it was funny and sad at the same time. It says, among other horrors, this CDC document openly calls for separating couples, families, then amidst this action will cause extreme psychological. It says, then amidst this action will cause extreme psychological trauma among Americans who are targeted and ripped from their homes to be placed in CV concentration camps. And that's all this is mind psyops. If you know anything about like these people, that's why it talks about in the scriptures that Esau has committed a diligent search. This man has searched shit out. You know what I mean? He knows how the mind works to a certain extent. Look how they did it. He did the lockdowns. Then they gradually opened them back up. And in order for you to want to stay free, to not be locked down, in order to do that, they trying to push you. Oh yeah, you better get that shot. Yeah, that's why the brother, like that's why the elder says what he said. He said, if you take that shot, you're going to take that Caragua. In addition to the risk of stigmatization and feelings of isolation, this shielding approach may have an important psychological impact and may lead to significant emotional distress. And that's the thing, you know what I mean? That's why we all gonna be presented with an hour of temptation, because what is gonna be because we all gonna get tested. The Lord is about to test them and test to try everybody. That's why Yahushua was always talking about you know, bearing your cross. You know what I mean? Like, like your lot for what you about to be tested with is literally maybe different. And not maybe, it is. You got certain brothers that have this and don't go through that. And then you got certain brothers that go through all kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and the brother, the head of Houston made a statement years ago and it made sense. Through the spirit, he was saying, what you catch, your hell and the truth, you catch is according to your sins. You know what I mean? Like what you did, like everybody got their specific hell. You know what I mean? Like this is your hell right now. In addition, it says Salaki, in addition to the risk of stigmatization and feelings of isolation, this shielding approach may have an important psychological impact and may lead to significant emotional distress, exuberant existing mental illness, or contribute to anxiety, depression, helplessness, grief, substance abuse, or thoughts of suicide among those who are separated or have been left behind. And that's what they banking on. Like people don't even understand. I have children, you know what I mean? Like they don't understand what these lockdowns did to these children. That's why during the lockdowns, I literally made sure I took mine up, when I was capable of doing it. And, now it's funny because I end up linking up with one of the brothers that has kids as well. He stays in a different area. We went to Esau, Edom land. These motherfucking kids out there with no mask, they got their basketball rims still around. All in Jake's neighborhoods, they took the rims down. Like they psychologically purposely doing this shit. Especially the Jake, because it's designed to break Jake. It says, it's not clear how the CDC plans to enforce this, but it seems rather obvious that this will involve armed guards and physical security measures such as chain link fences or razor wire. And yeah, that could be an option, but when you go into the tech that this devil fucking has, I got a book called The Pentagon's Brain. You'll be surprised what this motherfucker could do. That's why Obama made a statement, which you should be able to go look up because it was on YouTube at one point in time when they was asking him about certain dangers in the United States, and he made a statement. He said, "Oh, I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried about a nuclear bomb going off in Manhattan." He said it like that. Now, mind you, what they asked him had nothing to do with what the fuck he said. But you got to remember, that's what's that called? Like they did on Get Out. Uh, damn. She threw the suggestion out there. You know what I mean? That's witchcraft. Like when you go into hypnosis, anyway, long story short, so that's put that out there in the ether, you know what I mean? Now your mind thinking on it. But when you go into looking up like like it's called the Davy Crockett. They got a nuclear bomb that you can strap on your back. This devil is the son of perdition, the son of destruction. He weaponizes everything. The CDC. So like as far as like with the wall that Trump was trying to build, I did a video about that. They basically like trying to make they was talking about making a wall where they don't have to have actually armed guards because you got AI. So they had to have drones flying over that area and literally like machine gun AI powered machine gun turrets to make sure nobody's sneaking across the wall. And like I said, with the technology nowadays, yeah, it's not far fetched. It says the CDC considers unvaccinated people to be high risk, which means Americans may be targeted for medical kidnapping and CV cap imprisonment merely for refusing to take the deadly. And that's not off. That's not far fetched. That's actually if you're not familiar with this guy, Mike Adams, you should check him out. And he knows something. You know what I mean? Like uh, I would have to, like I said, I can't add this because, like I said, this is a phone. I don't know, and I don't know how to actually add all this stuff like the links in post production or whatnot. But he a doctor, so he was talking about like you can get an espresso machine and take a certain herb, and you could use that cheap ass espresso machine to extract the actually the valuable viable ingredient that you would need for like it was he said you could use it for like if you wasn't able to access certain like first aid. You get what I'm saying? So it was basically like I forgot exactly the term he used, but it was like he was MacGyvering some shit. You know what I mean? And he, like I said, if you go check out his channel, he got videos, and like I said, he had a lot of subscribers, but he hasn't did a video in like years because YouTube was censoring him. So just like how people was wondering, or I'm gonna say Akim was wondering what had happened to Richie from Boston, and then the brother ended up showing me like, oh, he on BitChute because we gonna look up pretty soon. Like once they start pushing these mandates, watch how they literally really start enforcing, and policing YouTube. Watch how they really start attacking the videos. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna do a part two. I'm trying to think a scripture to end with. I'm gonna end it with this. No, hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna use this. This is the book of Revelations chapter 2, verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. And that 10 days, I mean, is not a exact amount of time. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, some men maybe try with way more time than that. Like, for instance, within the last year, I've been going to jail back and forth, uh, like off and on, like, and every time I would go to jail over this same situation now, I would get out within a week. This time, literally, I could never get a Bible either. You know what I mean? Made it very difficult to get scripture, the Bible. This time, I was able to get a Bible before we left intake because COVID fucked everything up. So, like I said, now you got to go in a whole different isolated. Like they got a whole thing where when you get locked up now, if you don't bond out, you go into like an intake to keep you away from everybody. But you're not really ever away from everybody because they still trying to pack it up and make money. So now they give you a celly, even though 6 feet distancing. This shit a joke. So yeah, I'm gonna make a part two to this because, like I said, I'm gonna delve into that CDC website. Um, so I'm gonna end the lesson there. I'm gonna pause the lesson and continue later. With that, call law yim la yah bashim al shah bashim al double honors to the apostles and elders um, of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the Akim. Shalom, shalom to all the sincere listeners out there. Until next time, I come with the part two. Shalom, shalom. Wa Shalom.